Pillar Post, as always, um, bringing on a very serious topic. Um, for those of you that are in my Skype chats, you all know what I'm going to be talking about and where this is going. So I figured I had the opportunity to talk to family members, fill them in, and I'd share it with the rest of the viewers here on Pillar to Post. Recently, I did a video where I was speaking of getting back into shape, getting my health under control, starting a 6-week challenge. And I informed you that I was going for blood work that day. I made a comment to the nurse drawing the blood that day, and she agreed, and I said the blood seemed like it was coming out very slow and very thick, and I felt very ill afterwards, and I've never ever felt ill after blood work. I've had up to 12 vials taken at once, and it's never bothered me before. And 4 vials this time just took the piss right out of me. 2 days later, I get a call from the doctor. I got the test back, and she goes. She wants to start off with the good news first. She goes, "Good news. Your sugar levels went from an average of 12.9 down to 8.4, which is good. Diabetes, not going to be messed around with." Followed it up with the bad news. And, they clued me in on everything about it. There was a reason why my blood was so thick, why it took so long to draw, why I felt so sick afterwards. I slept for 4 hours after I had my blood work done. I'm going to give you the technical name. Polycythemia Rubra Vera. I don't know if I butchered the name, and it's not Vera, it's Vera. It is a disorder of the bone marrow. The bone marrow produces too much red blood cells. There's no identifiable cause. Basically what happens are the cells accumulate in the bone marrow and in the bloodstream, where they increase the blood volume and cause the blood to become thicker. I guess I've never heard of it before, but it's a chronic disease. And it's like 2 to 3 people out of 100,000 in a population that are diagnosed with it. So it is quite common, I guess. I went and quickly looked it up, and it took me right to beating blood cancers. And it's in the Leukemia Foundation. So I had to do research right away about it, and scared the fuck out of me, I kind of wish my doctor would have taken the time to talk to me further about it, but basically they put me on a high-risk stroke or a heart failure. So they called it a high risk heart or stroke watch. Um, so now I am supposed to be careful how much I exert myself. I have to be careful on what I do, losing my temper. Um, anything that's going to get my heart pumping too strong, too fast. Because what's going on in my body is the blood's becoming so thick that my heart's struggling to pump it through my system, also to spread oxygen throughout my body. So they're worried about blood clotting and either having a stroke or a heart attack. You know, I watched my father suffer through 2 strokes, 2 heart attacks. It's not easy. And then I watched him pass away from prostate cancer. Now, although they don't know how far along this is, if I'll be doing chemo yet or whatnot, the plan is that I see a specialist and they get me started on a treatment right away where they basically draw anywhere from 350 to 500 milliliters of blood in one shot. And I come back in for these on a regular basis for, I guess, the first month until they see if it's working. And if it is working, then it'll be on a monthly basis until they can see if it's working enough, then maybe, every 3 months. If it's not working, then it'll be blood transfusions. And from there, it just keeps on getting worse and worse, and there are chances it can turn into full on leukemia. I'm not even going to think about that right now. Right now, I'm hoping at a manageable stage. I'll be undergoing lifelong treatment, and you know, trying to stay positive. I don't seem so positive right now. I'm actually having really bad chest pains right now, and this is why the commentary wasn't up to par today, or non-existence in the second show where I had our main event, the title match between Gold Dynasty and Crimson Fang Wolfpack. Um, I I push myself all the time. You know, for a good anywhere from 5 to 10 years, I gave up. I've talked about this on this channel many times. My accident that I was involved in, the drunk driver hitting me, all the things I've gone through. Being told by the time you're 35, you will not be able to walk anymore. You will be in a wheelchair. You know, them telling me you will have limitations for the rest of your life. You can't do this, you can't do that. Don't do this because you're going to hurt that. Don't do this because you're going to end up hurting this. And I've pushed through it all, and I'm 41 years old. And I'm still fighting. And the kick in the teeth of it all is I thought I was finally gaining again. I was finally getting on a better track. And when you suffer from multiple injuries and battle depression and anxiety, and you fight to be able to communicate with people. And I'm not talking about here on YouTube and on Skype. I'm talking about out in the real world. Out there amongst people face to face. I struggle with it. It's very uncomfortable for me. I have been burnt so many times by people making me believe that they had good intentions. And it's hard, but I fight it, and I try all the time. Hell, random people on the street, I'll say hi to. How you doing? Having a good day? You know, when it comes to my physical abilities, I am constantly fighting. And you start feeling like that wind has finally caught your sails. You're starting to finally chug ahead. You're finally starting to accomplish and gain and start being able to show that new generation, that next generation, that there is so much more out there. Just because you are injured, just because you have a disability, you can still move ahead in life. And I find myself battling again. I never, ever expected life to be easy. I never, ever wanted life to be easy. There comes a point where you start feeling defeated. And I'm trying to fight through that again. I don't want to end up back where I was 2-3 years ago. You know, having to put myself into a psych ward so I don't hurt myself. You know, I struggle right now just talking about this. And at first, you know, me and my wife Shannon were talking. And I said I should probably stop doing my YouTube thing because I don't know how to do it another way. I don't know how to do the show half-assed. Today hurt me. Today felt like I half-assed it. And what little I did on the show today, I felt so worn out, so drained. I was in complete sweats. My heart was hammering in my chest. I was experiencing so much pain. And when that second last match, the 6th match, was finally over, I thought it was a blessing. I have never, ever thought that about my show. That, oh my God, this match is finally over, I can stop. You know, some of my family members, they don't understand how I can be so open about my life. Some of my family members don't like it that I talk about my life. To them, I say it beats the alternative. You guys were all proud of me that I came so far. And you all seen And this is directed at my family. You all seen where I was going. I would have either been lying in a bathroom bleeding out, or found on the sofa from an overdose. So I can't do the alternative. I've been down that road. I beat that. So don't be upset with me for being able to finally talk about it. I'm hurting right now, but my full intentions up here, in here, it's to keep on fighting. To keep on pushing through. Keep on doing what I do. To continue to defy the odds. To not accept self-pity, self-defeatism, to not let my emotions get the better of me. I am always going to be the man I am. The man I am is many different things. I'm a fearful man. My biggest fear has always been leaving this world and not having accomplished something that makes my family proud. I want my kids to be able to look up at me and say, to the very end, he fought and he did what he loved doing. And my biggest fear is I lose that fight and I don't accomplish what I set out to do. Any of you that don't have children, you might not understand. Every father wants their kids to be proud of them, wants them to look up to them. Even through all the bad times, all the bad things with my father. On his deathbed, I told him that I was sorry for one thing, and that was not being able to do something that made him proud of me. You know, it's going to be a rough road, because I don't know how far this is going to lead. And I want to thank this community that began here on YouTube. Some people like to call it the DWS, the Digital Wrestling Syndicate. Me, I call it my second family. Because so many of you have become so close to me. So many of you that I can kind of lean on from time to time. And I want to thank you all for that alone. I talk about this stuff on my channel because I used to bottle everything up. I wouldn't speak to my wife about anything. I wouldn't speak to my family about anything. And I've learned that talking about it helps. And that's why I'm sitting here tonight talking right now. Because in a little while I'll be going to bed. And I wake up tomorrow morning. And I've got to find the brighter side of life. Now I know there's many people out there, they have a lot of a rougher life than I have. I've got family to support me. I've got a wonderful wife. I've got great kids. They're always behind me 100%. You have a lot of people out there in a lot worse shape, a lot worse condition, a lot worse problems. And I can sympathize a little bit with them. I'm not going to be the first man to go through these issues. I'm not going to be the last man. But I've got to find a whole new way of fighting a whole new problem. I tried doing a little research. I just got further down. So once I know how bad things truly are, after I get the first treatment done, and we go from there and they run their battery of tests and see how far bad things have gotten, I'll be able to better adapt. My goals are still the same. March is going to be a big month for Pillar to Post, as well as some of the people that are on the show. We're going to be bringing you a book called Wasteland, stories based on what we do here on Pillar to Post with WW2K19. Might not be fully related, some of it is. Some of it is alluded to. But they are original stories brought to you by myself as well as some of the people on the show. Come April, May, I want to bring out Book 2 of Circle of Steel. It's been a long time coming, and I want to keep that momentum going and try and bring out Book 3 this year as well. I have a lot of things to accomplish. And if it means I have to give up what I do here on YouTube because, frankly, my body just can't do it no more, I'm going to have to make that decision. I'm not going to make that decision yet because I want to see how the treatments start working. But I know right now I can't be the angry Viking. I can't be loud and proud. I can't bring the energy because just the little I did today wore me out. And I've been noticing that on a lot of the shows here on Pillar to Post as of late. You know, I haven't been able to stream very much, but when I did, I wasn't able to bring the energy I love bringing. And when the show was done, I was exhausted. I was covered in sweat. I felt like I had worked 8 hours. And it shouldn't feel that way. I'm going to be finishing off the Bloodbound qualifying matches, and I'm going to bring my brother David in on the commentary, and we're going to sit here, we're going to talk, we're going to, call the show. I won't be able to bring who I like to bring, but we're going to finish off Bloodbound and the qualifying matches leading up. And until things improve, I am going to have to end Pillar to Post. I'm not going to delete the channel. I'm not going to, kill anything off. I'm just going to have to be very strict and serious with myself and accept I can't do it right now. So I want to thank you all, everyone, throughout the last 2-3 years who have all taken part in RWO, the good and the bad. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your help. Thank you for always being there. I appreciate it. I want to thank all the people that have sponsored me throughout the time here on YouTube. We've had our ups, we've had our downs. And we made a hell of a show together. I'm hoping RWO isn't going to end, but for the foreseeable future, it has to end until I know I am capable of being the person I want to be. So once again, thank you for sitting here with me, listen to me go on about my woes. And like I said before, I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm just hurting right now. It's not easy getting news like this. So it's going to be an uphill battle like the rest of my life has been. I only know one thing, and that's fighting. And so I'm going to keep on doing the one thing I know how to do. So thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your time. This is Pete Wall saying good night. And I will announce when Dave is available and we can finish off the Bloodbound qualifying matches and schedule a date for Bloodbound itself. Have a great night, folks. This is Pete Wall. I am out of here.